since 9/11, it's more than 150,000 have died by suicide veterans. And from the post 9/11 cohort, which is roughly 3 million veterans, we lost roughly 7,000 to Iraq and Afghanistan. We've lost 30,000 of that same group to suicide. And that's if, again, there's a lot of contention on whether the VA is properly counting that, because what they don't count is things that come across as a car accident or a motorcycle accident. And I know from talking to our warriors that they will run a car into a pole, they'll run a motorcycle into a pole so that it's not a suicide appearance, so their families get their insurance.
Sure.
They don't want the stigma attached to their death. And so those accidents don't get counted unless it says suicide. In a lot of ways, they're not counted. And there's been a nonprofit group that vehemently questioned the accuracy of the VA's findings over the past few years, because it went from 20 down to 14, and they call it baloney. They're saying it's closer to 35, and it could be as much as 45, 55 a day, which is an extraordinary number considering the fact that all of us are pre-screened for mental health issues when we come in. And the challenge is, mental health is the worst reimbursed area of medicine. However, we're seeing the effects of that post-pandemic with just, every major company in the world now is talking about resilience and trying to, try and take care of their people, because you've got the mass quitting, the mass resignation stuff going on. You've got people that are just burnt out and tired. And then you've got the whole change to the workspace between virtual, hybrid, coming into work. And so all of these things with the potential threat of nuclear war erupting from the Ukraine, cascading out here, to the pandemic never seems to go away, and all these things.
Yeah.
We've got people with so many mental health challenges, but the chickens have come home to roost because we haven't made the investments in those areas. And so the market is wide open to solutions, because we're looking at, a lot of 1950s technology, medicines, and treatments that are so far outdated that the world is your oyster when it comes to coming up with new treatments, especially when you come to neuromuscular issues, tissue regeneration. I think my biggest fear, though, is that I'm going to let the people down I'm supposed to be helping. Do you know what I mean? That's probably my biggest fear. It's not failure, because I know I'll get there, but if I don't get it done right and I didn't meet the need, I think for a lot of people that do this type of work, it's the fear of letting down your team, letting down the people that are counting on you. It's more of that than, because there's all sorts of things that can derail you. It doesn't mean you're not going to get there, but if you can't get there in time, sometimes the window of opportunity will close, and, it's beyond your control then. You got to commit to excellence, not perfection. Anybody that's committing to perfection, I think they need to go see a therapist maybe and work on that issue, because there's no such thing as perfection. The world changes, everything shifts. So you get closer, then the goalposts move again on you. So if you focus on excellence versus perfection, you're going to find it, but you got to be willing to make mistakes. Mistakes are the tuition you pay for success. And you've got to accept mistakes as part of the risk. With no risk, there's no reward, but with no risk, there's also no mistakes. And so many people choose a path of mediocrity and safety, but they never achieve anything because they never risk anything.
When you take risk and you have a vision and you're passionate about that vision, whatever that is, and you had to have a vision of what success looked like, and you had to be able to sell that vision. And once you do that and you're successful one time, okay, a little more confidence the next time, and the next time. And within that vision, we know that there's challenges along the way, and there's going to have some failures along the way. And as long as you can lead and lead people to understand that, success will happen. It's amazing that the network of people that around you that trust you, right? That become your friends, who understands that, how to build things back. Who's the best person to recruit? Maybe retired nurses and doctors. And you went to your network and your mind and of the smartest people in the space that you knew that would have the talent for that solution. And again, how blessed are you and I and any of us who live lives like we have, that you can actually do that, right? I've got a bunch of experience in my life where I just jumped into things that I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out somehow. And I put together a forum of mine, a brain trust, of forums of minds that people I love, that I trust, that'll go through a wall for me, and I'll go through a wall through them. I start with that. And then with that 5, 10, 15 person, brain trust, or whatever, then come up with the solutions, and then reach out further to other minds that they know and trust, and you get things done, right?